Hi there. Warner Discovery had their big upfront panel today, May 14th, which we were all looking forward to for a long time, anticipating that this is when they would release the first real trailer for the second Game of Thrones spin-off series, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Well, not only do we not get any trailer out of the panel, but they officially announced that the series premiere has been delayed yet again by another 4 months or so, back to early 2026. In context of their overall business plans and scheduling, this was entirely sensible, and I actually agree with it. I'll explain why. Short version, it's because they want it to be the flagship show for their giant European streamer launch next year. Now, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is an adaptation of the Dunk and Egg prequel stories. Sometimes you'll hear fans referring to it as the Dunk and Egg show interchangeably. It's set roughly between the time frames of House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. And it was ready to air spring of 2025. This should have premiered this past March, like 2 months ago. Filming was done, post-production was done. There were never reshoots. It's a very small-scale show. George R. R. Martin had talked about how he'd seen rough cuts of the entire thing and really liked it. Then they announced that they were pushing it back to fall of 2025. And while disappointed, intellectually we all understood why. That due to the ongoing ripple effects of the writers' strikes 2 years ago, and yeah, that's how long it goes from writing something to filming it to airing it, there was a gap in their schedule. That they had some thin things, and the stuff with Euphoria being delayed. There was a gap in their schedule. They had nothing else that could fill fall. They wanted a strong release to anchor their schedule then. So, okay, this is scheduling politics. It had nothing to do with whether they liked the show or disliked it. No, they actually seemed really confident in it. Why are they pushing it back yet again? While they didn't give an official reason at the time, it seems pretty clear if you've been paying any attention to their state of the industry, as I have, and been making videos about this whole time. The probable answer is that they want A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms to be the major tentpole release that's tied with their next major international expansion wave for their HBO Max streamer. The next wave will be the Sky Atlantic Zone, the last massive multinational, which covers, the UK and Germany. Major markets, and not just them, it's the UK, Germany, Republic of Ireland, Italy, Austria, Switzerland. These are major economies. This is the core of Europe that they never aired in. This isn't even upgrading between one service and another. UK and Germany, when they launch in the Sky Atlantic Zone, it will be the biggest expansion for their streaming platform in 4 years. Since 2021, when they launched across all of Latin America at a stroke on one day. Arguably bigger. And in terms of my channel, which, skews towards people that speak English because I'm talking in English, the UK is my number 2 location for viewership. Germany, number 3, neck and neck with Canada at number 4. These are huge, disproportionate, big economies, a lot of people online who watch streaming TV. There will never be another launch as big as this, arguably bigger than the Latin America launch in terms of importance. So, just apply common sense to the situation. Why would they premiere A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms as late as October, only to then have their UK and Germany launch 4 months later? Think about how much that would screw them up. That they'd be telling everyone in the UK and Germany, watch Dunk and Egg. By the way, watch it right before you cancel the service you're watching it on, Sky Atlantic, and then have to switch to a new one, HBO Max, in spring. That's crazy. And it's not just, oh, they want to make money. From the business perspective, it's smart. From the fandom perspective, it's smart. We want as many people as possible to watch this show. Why would we want them to watch it on a streaming service that's dying, that this franchise won't be on anymore a matter of months later? That's silly. Why are we only hearing about this now? Why didn't they delay it to next spring originally? Well, I think that it's simply that the HBO Max launch in Sky Atlantic is going a little ahead of schedule. Just in terms of infrastructure and red tape and whatever, that they said first half of 2025, that could be as late as May. So if Dunk and Egg was coming around like this summer and they thought the UK would be getting HBO Max by like next May, I can see how they'd think of those as two separate things. But once Dunk and Egg was coming out in October, maybe they still thought it was coming to the UK by like April, but maybe things went really well, and we're looking at a UK-Germany launch for HBO Max by February, maybe even by January. They looked at a calendar and said, it makes so much more sense just to delay this 4 months, rather than deal with the massive problems of shifting streaming platforms like that. I fully understand that. And this isn't, I've actually seen people speculating this is because they're not confident in Dunk and Egg. Everyone who has seen it really liked it. George R. R. Martin gave it a glowing approval. This isn't that they are worried about it. They are so confident in it, they want it to be their flagship show for their gigantic launch in the UK and Germany, across the entire Sky Atlantic zone. So, in terms of money is important because it's what pays for projects. Also, in terms of fandom, we want more people physically watching, which they would if they're getting it on HBO Max instead of, I'm going to cancel Sky Atlantic anyway. And on top of that, the promotional blitz of a big international launch. I mean, right now, when you look at ads for HBO Max, they have the cast of The Last of Us on them, like Pedro Pascal, because that's the big show now. And that's the second season of something in a country like I'm in the United States, where this is a country you already have it. I'm talking billboards on roadways. I'm talking the ads that are on your internet homepage. Subways. Like the media blitz that you haven't seen the scale of since like Game of Thrones season 7 and 8 in terms of advertising money, more than usual, that they drop not just for the premiere of a show, but when they're launching an entirely new streaming platform in a country. Dunk and Egg will be the face of HBO Max in the UK. You will see posters for this all through the tubes, all through the tunnels and everything. This will be everywhere. This will be at Brandenburg Gate. I look forward to seeing the photos of this. I mean, I remember how exciting it was back when we saw billboards with Sean Bain on them for Game of Thrones Season 1 when they came out. So we're going to get a massive promotional blitz just by delaying it 4 months. That'll be so much bigger, tying it in with that Max Sky Atlantic release. And more people will watch because they don't have to deal with the hassle of Sky Atlantic anymore. This is a bit of a delay, but for the long-term health of the Dunk and Egg TV series, multi-year as a whole, I see why they're doing this, and it's the right decision. Oh, we have to wait another 4 months. We were already waiting. I really don't understand how clickbaiters think. Are they really just that impulsive that they only think a few months ahead? When people go, oh, I really want Dunk and Egg now. I'm tired of waiting. There's only 6 episodes. Or for a 10-episode show, you realize that there's 52 weeks a year, and the faster that the show comes, the faster it's done. That if you just, I want it now, you're just rushing to the next gap between seasons. What does that even mean? The entire point is to have a cinematic universe where it alternates between shows. We're trying to work our way up to that. Oh, I said it's only 6 episodes. The Dunk and Egg series is novellas. They're short. So some people worried oh, it's only 6, does that mean they knocked it down from 10? If anything, people who are familiar with it are going, how can they get 6 episodes out of this? Maybe they're like 30-minute episodes. It is a beloved story. It's really, really good. It's some of Martin's best writing. It's smaller scale. It's more of a character piece, but it's just that good. But it's about 6 episodes. Like, you're going to have 6 weeks, and then what are we going to do for the next 40 weeks? You don't need to rush to the next gap. So, given that the series hasn't even started yet, I mean, if season 1 had already come out, yeah, there's an argument for it's already out, don't make people wait for season 2. You can delay the premiere of a show. And this is entirely due to just the obvious thing. They want it to be the flagship for the giant launch of HBO Max in the UK and Germany next year, which is apparently coming closer to winter. If it's in January, I'm okay with that. If anything, my biggest reaction to all of this news was relief, because this is good news for them. And to be honest, I'm behind schedule. That just on all the mid-season projects I wanted to, going over all the bonus content to review, things about the design and stuff on House of the Dragon and other things, I am officially starting to fall behind schedule. I was just starting to feel bad about this. I just reached a point where I was done with the phase I was working on. And once I heard this, I went, this is like getting a 4-month extension on a university research paper for me. That really, I need the time to prepare for Dunk and Egg, because, guys, we have never had 2 shows in this franchise before, concurrently, on and off alternating like that, that we have an entirely new set of cast and crew to go behind the scenes on and go over interviews and what they have to say about the adaptation process and the lore for a separate prequel era. People don't know who the Blackfires are. So I have a lot of prep work to do on Dunk and Egg videos and things, and I need the time. And why rush it? If you think, oh, this is because they don't have faith in Dunk and Egg, everything we have heard is that they have a ton of faith in it. And if, as seems probable, they're using it as the flagship for the UK launch, that means they have so much confidence in this. They want this to be the face of the biggest international expansion they are going to have from here on out. And the way to prove all of this is when we start getting dates and numbers on when exactly HBO Max is going to launch in the Sky Atlantic zone. I mean, they said early 2026, so that's less than a year from now. But mark my words, we will see HBO Max coming to UK and Germany winter of 2026, January, February, and it won't be long before we see, no, this is clearly they're using it as the flagship for a new launch. So I'm not concerned. I'm relieved because this gives me more time to do Dunk and Egg content leading up to the release of the show, to go over cast interviews. Otherwise, we'd be just rushing to another gap. So the weird thing is, so many people weren't following this. In the lead up to the panel, I was making a lot of state of the industry videos for Warner Discovery, so please tell me if you watch those. This makes complete sense if you were following my reports on they're gearing up for this giant launch in early 2026. Yeah, it makes sense you'd want your heavy hitters, keep your powder dry, save it for that, more than just dumping it this fall. So this really fixes all of our problems. It is better for Dunk and Egg, both from a business standpoint, in terms of fandom, of getting more people to watch for longer. Even if you're worrying about your YouTube channel, we need physically more eyeballs, more viewership, if people aren't watching it on Sky Atlantic right before they cancel Sky Atlantic. That's silly. At any rate, like I said, I've been working on a series of videos about state of the industry, why Warner is doing the things it's doing. Please check those out, and this coming weekend, the giant 45-minute video I had already finished recording on the total guide to HBO Max international expansion country by country, which will put all of this in context.